So this was actually the first mass-produced camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the Brownie?
Yeah, right. 916.
Yeah.
616. Yeah, dude. They use these to collect data for the Normandy, for the charge on Normandy. Yeah. Huh. They took a bunch of these cameras. They took a bunch of pictures from different angles.
Oh wow.
And created like a 3D model.
Okay.
That they could work with. To predict how they would go in on the shore.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But like, I was like, oh, that's really cool. And that was and then they started mass producing them to sell it public. After they developed them for stuff like that.
That's really cool. Are we good to?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever we're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready. Cool. Fine. I'll do a little countdown and then we'll jump right in. And 3, 2. You talking to me? I'm talking to you. And this is talking to me, talking to you. And I got Michael Moeller.
What's
is it
happening?
Moeller?
Yeah.
Moeller. I wasn't sure because it had the extra E.
Right.
Moeller.
Yeah. Moeller, like the high school. It basically should be like Moleller. Moeller.
I thought of something actually, man. My last name's Hafley.
Okay.
So and no one pronounced it like that. They say Hafley.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought I should just start writing it with like a capital H, lowercase a, capital F. And then people will start recognizing it as Hafley.
Yeah.
Kind of like McAfee or
sure.
With a Mac at the beginning.
Yeah.
I thought that would be. I'm like, hey, that's a way to
like
get people to say my name
right. Phonetically, like show them how to say it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's cool. Dude, welcome. Thank you.
Thanks
for
having me,
man. I appreciate it, dude. I've been getting to know you, man. Recently, I started. I heard you play the first time up at the bar in Mount Orb.
Yeah.
You got a very unique voice, dude.
Okay.
Like, very cool. I didn't know how to take it at first. I kind of was like, this is different.
Right.
But I thought it was very unique, and I'm like, it's very cool. And I could tell you were like a deep songwriter. You know what I mean? Like you tell like stories.
Sure.
And so I thought that, and I seen you play a few more times, and I helped you with a music video recently.
Yep.
Like a live performance video.
Yeah.
And just opening up to what you like bring musically. I'm just like, dude, I'm astounded. Like seriously, you're fucking awesome, man.
Thank you.
Especially doing that video, like, dude, like we were just testing sound, and I'm like, and I only heard you play like once, at that time, and we're testing sound. I'm like, man, this sounds really good. And like, wow, yeah, I really like this, you know, because like I'm not like a very big folky kind of,
sure.
I'm a super alternative,
right.
like rock and roll, clean, like
all that stuff's awesome too.
Aggressive shit, you know. I like a lot of that stuff. But dude, like, good songs are good songs, and like that song that we helped you make,
Pennsylvania Skies.
Pennsylvania Skies.
Yeah.
That song is fucking awesome.
Thank you.
I really like music that tributes that, because you're telling a story. You're singing about like this place in our mind, you know, that like you kind of find through purely music.
Right.
Something you talked about at Crooner Circus, the last Crooner Circus, was the way that you think of songs. Yeah. And how you get inspired for the funniest little things. Right. So could you give me like an example? I told a story, I can't remember them, but an example of something like that?
Well, you know, there's so many different things that happen, and we were getting ready to start the podcast when we were talking about this, but like, I don't know if everybody has this, but in my mind, I get you know, things happen to me, or I think about things, or I watch something happen to somebody else, and it could be simple. It could be, you know, somebody drops a glass at a restaurant or whatever, but like that instant thing that happens creates this like story, boom, in my head, like instantly, and you, in a flash, you can see it from start to finish. And I don't know if that happens to everybody. I know, like, I'm sure, because you're creative, you're making videos and you know, movies and stuff, so I'm sure that kind of stuff.
I call it catching lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, right.
It's like you hear and feel and see, everything just kind of works out. Yeah. Like really in a fast manner too.
Right. It's very quick and it's rapid, and it's one of those things where you have to commit it to memory in some sort of fashion, or write it down, or it will be gone. You'll think you'll remember it, and it'll be gone.
Oh, like that. Yeah.
I was talking I love just songwriters. Imagine that. But I was talking to Jack Ingram. He was playing at the Southgate House, 2018, I think, and it was right after Guy Clark had passed away. And Guy Clark's a legendary Texas like folk country songwriter, and Jack Ingram was saying that when he went to visit Guy Clark, he said the one thing that separates a songwriter from a good songwriter from a great songwriter is someone that has that flash, that sees that story and can freeze it in time, and then write it down and put it to words and put it to music. And I'm assuming, movie makers are the same way. Like,
yes, for sure. Yeah. It's me personally. I try to. So I do two things, man. Like, so I have like a daily to-do list.
Yeah.
When I think of something that I need to do throughout the day, I have to write it down, or I'll possibly forget it.
Sure.
I've developed that just through me noticing, like, oh, hey, I don't really get everything accomplished throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I write it down, like, in moments' notice, like, oh, hey, boop, boop, boop. And I'll do that with ideas as well, but that's the thing that really kind of sucks about, like, what you're talking, like, compared to, like, a song, like, you're able to catch that lightning in a bottle. With me, when I catch it, it's just a piece of the lightning.
Right.
It's just the thunder,
Yeah.
And so I write down just a part of it, and then like I have to recreate the rest of my ideas.
Yeah. Right.
But on my to-do list, it's super easy. Like, that's my thing. Like,
yes.
Like, boom. Oh, I got to do that today, and then I write that down.
Right.
And then with my artisticness, it's almost like I have this like strange like memory. Like it's short term. It's like a short term memory. Like, okay. Oh yeah, because like you all of a sudden get like different tastes. Like, you like different things. You think different things are better, like looking or better sounding, or feel different.
Yeah.
It's almost like a photographic memory.
Yeah, I can't. If it was stayed in my memory bank, it'd be great. But it's there. You see it, and if you don't write it down in quick time, or
you ever wrote something on a napkin?
Yeah. Got
that's
napkin stuff.
That's old.
For sure.
Devin Brooks saying, he's like, write your dreams on a napkin.
Yeah, man.
And that's like, if you think of it, catch it while it's hot,
right?
And writing it down.
Yeah,
that's a good perspective to go at. A lot of people really don't do that, and like you say, man, those ideas just get lost in the wind.
Right. Yeah, and it's. I've always been an observer of people. Yeah. So, observing how people react to things happening or whatever, like, and that, even at a young age, I was seeing how people were moving about, and had my own thoughts about why they were doing those things, and eventually it got to the point where I was like, I learned how to play guitar, and then, I could actually write some of these things down.
Yeah.
And put them into something. And just going back to your question, like, there's so many different things that could cause me to write a song. Being around people, talking with people, listening to different things, podcasts. Like, one of my one of my most recent songs, and that's probably the story that you heard. I was listening to a podcast, and I heard a story about a boxer. Or the concept of boxers that are great, world champ type boxers, at some point they get old.
Yeah.
And at some point they aren't as good as the people that are now boxing.
Yeah, coming up, the young.
Yeah, the young ones.
The hungry.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. It's just the way it goes. But like with their camp, the boxer usually brought up his dudes with him, to be security and run the money and run marketing and run, handle the deals and the contracts and stuff, and at some point there's unfortunately there's times where the camp fears that they're not going to find something else to do after a boxer retires.
they're wondering where their money's going to
be.
be.
Right. And so they're making the money off of this guy being a boxer.
Yeah.
And there's times where they put that guy's, livelihood on the line, and look out for themselves over, being the person that he needs them to be.
Yeah, taking a selfish outlook on a non-selfish task.
Right. Yeah.
For sure. Because you're going in as a team to help this guy develop, whatever, even like you said, security, doing finance, whatever you're doing for him, you're helping him do what he wants to do with his life through his profession, and maybe boxing. That's a very detrimental.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like thing to do for a living, like those guys risking their lives.
Sure, yeah. It's no joke to knockouts or damaging for
Concussion,
sure.
CTE, baby.
Yeah, right. So and I'm a pretty big metaphor kind of guy, but I never like to be super cryptic. I kind of say what I need to say.
You're straightforward, man. I like that about your songwriting. You're very straightforward.
This song, the song that I wrote, there wasn't. I was just telling the story of the boxer in that situation. But as I was writing it, and as I was, thinking on that kind of story and how I'm gonna form it and how I'm gonna write it for, 5 months. I'm thinking about it. Okay. I'm not really putting pen to paper yet. I'm just thinking about it, and I'm going through things in my life that are affecting me, and I start realizing that this isn't just a boxer going through it with his guys. It's anybody going through it with their thoughts and hesitations about change, about feeling like they don't want to do something, or they're scared that if they do something or don't do something, it's going to be bad, and the easiest thing to do is be comfortable, So
be comfortable with moving on to the next phase.
Sure, right. Yeah. So now your camp.
The boxer and the camp.
Yeah. So now you're the boxer, but your camp is your negative thoughts about all this different stuff that's happening. That you push things away. You don't do the things that you need to do to be comfortable as the camp.
Yeah.
But the boxer's going to suffer if you don't make that decision.
And so what's that song called?
I think I'm going to call it Blue Silk Shorts. There's a line.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a line called in there with Blue Silk Shorts.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I like that, man, and that's like a big reason why I like your music, and why I've like slowly like went from going, what is this, to this is amazing. Is that you have a depth into your storytelling and your songwriting. It just comes from a different place, because it's like you are writing about your perspective and you in a mindset,
right?
But you're also telling these like vivid stories that make it kind of like pull you in, almost like a pirate tale,
Right.
I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
It feels really like it's like almost like I could play a movie in my head while you're singing a song.
Of course.
You feel me?
Yeah. I've attempted to write songs where there isn't necessarily a story, but just a concept, and you're writing to a concept, and I get finished with the song, and there's a damn story in it. Like, I just can't. I don't know why.
Not write these great stories.
Trust me, not every single one of them are great.
No, of course. But trial and error, development of the skill in music.
Right.
But it's very cool. So my question is do you have obviously we just helped you do a video that should be coming out whenever. You got an album in the works?
Yeah. So me and Noah Smith, we recorded a group of 5 songs like in 2014. They're my songs, and like I kind of sat on them. Super busy. Everybody's super busy. That's a lame excuse.
Years, man.
I know.
We're figures out.
I know. So last year, it was right. It was right before the pandemic, like September, October of 19. I was like, you know what? I'm finishing this record, but I didn't have much money to put towards the record, so I was like, I want to learn. I just want to learn. So I'm working through figuring out how to mix my record.
So you're doing it all yourself?
Yeah. So
nice.
I've never mixed anything. I've been a part of, record making. I've been through that process, but I've never, done the mix process. So, I was like, okay, let's go ahead and figure that out. I dig in enough to just know about it. Yeah. So why don't I dig in a little bit more and know how to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's a head-on way to do it too, man. Because you've been playing solo for about how long now?
Yeah, so
2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I've always played solo, but over the last 8 years, I've played with Noah Smith.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna get into that.
Yeah, and recently, last year, right before the pandemic, in February, I had me and my wife. We had a son, and that added an extra layer of life to things.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where my priorities were in a place where they were mixed up enough that I needed to take a step back, and I kind of pulled back from playing with Noah. With that happened maybe July of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, 2021 this year, and so since then I've just kind of retraining myself to be a different list of who I was.
Yeah, you're trying to be Michael Moeller.
Yeah.
The singer-songwriter instead of Michael Moeller with Noah Smith.
Right. Yeah. And that's just different for me.
It's a whole different beast.
Yeah,
man.
It's a whole different beast. So the biggest thing is I've learned a ton. Noah is a wealth of knowledge. He knows so much. He's been doing music for over half his life at this point.
Yeah, he's very, very, very intelligent dude.
Yeah.
A lot of knowledge comes out of that dude.
Right. So and he's done so many different things inside the music business as his own DIY guy. So working with him, yeah, I've learned everything. I had no clue what I was doing 8-9 years ago when I started playing with him. I was just a guy that was scrappy enough to scream on stage.
Yeah.
and figure out how to play mandolin to stand up on stage with him. So
that's what it takes.
Yeah. So and then from there I just started learning a whole bunch of stuff, and we grew and writing songs, and each of us pushing each other, and we're still friends and all that. We text all the time and communicate back and forth. So the transition's been kind of weird because you become such a tight family in the band. You're talking all the time too. As soon as you make the disconnect, there is a disconnect of the paths are now changing.
Yeah.
If they change slightly and they keep going, they're still just going to widen.
Yeah.
So it's hard to continue to keep touch, but you just have to be intentional about it. And,
yeah, absolutely.
But
you seem like that type of guy too.
I try to be. I'm not the best at it.
Hey, we're all trying.
But yeah, I definitely try to be. But yeah, so now I'm making the calls. I'm making I'm sending emails. I'm trying to get shows booked. Before I was doing that to some capacity, but it was now it's just me.
Yeah, it's you feel like you kind of got to. It's you.
Yeah, a show's not going to get booked unless I put it on the calendar at this point. So it is a sense of ownership that I had a piece of like ownership of my role in the Noah Smith stuff, and I was grateful for that. But I think I needed to transition into ownership of who I am and where I'm headed.
So what are you gonna call the album?
I actually have one other EP that I released in 2014.
Okay, so you have another
I have
from the same like time batch of songs.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that one is on Spotify. It's a group of 6 songs. And that's just a Michael Moeller EP. It's just self-titled. But I don't know what I'm gonna call this record yet. There's a couple of different songs on the new record that are really got some potential to be. There's one called My Biggest Fear, which is a really cool, could be a cool title track. Can't See the Stars is another one. So there's a lot of imagery that can happen with the album artwork and stuff with a couple of those things. So this Monday I kind of finished one song to the point where I'm like, okay, I think I beat this one. I think I'm there. And I was doing a victory dance, listening to it. And, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Man. That's always the best part too about it all. Especially doing, like you say, doing it all yourself now. You're making your own tunes in your house.
Yeah.
And creating your own studio. And then boom, you finally finish that mixed and mastered, done song.
Right.
And it just feels so accomplished.
Yeah.
You feel so proud of yourself. You're doing that victory dance. That's probably the best feeling about doing art.
Yeah.
We just showing you a little cut of the movie.
Of course, yeah. It's sick.
Dude, hours and hours, and it's 6 minutes long.
Right.
And it's gonna end up being 45 to 50-minute long movie probably.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So but once that finally comes to fruition, we're gonna be so happy.
Oh yeah.
And that's the best part about all of it. It's fun to make it. It's fun to make decisions. It's hard.
It is hard.
But it's fucking great to have the finished thing in front of you and be proud and
sure.
Like it.
Yes.
You like it yourself because everyone's interpretation is different. I had a conversation once about how there's a difference between artists and entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
Artists make art for themselves. Entertainers make art for people.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a song to get as many people to listen to it as possible.
Right.
I'm an entertainer. I'm gonna make a song for me because I like the music that I'm making.
Sure.
That's more of an artist stand to me. And so that's something I've said before, and I think it rings true to what you are. You're an artist. You're along those lines of telling those capacity stories of like I said, it may not be your exact experiences in life, but they're your perspective story tells.
Yeah. I'm not always the main character in my story in the song, but I'm a part of that story. Yeah.
I'm not either.
Are you the star of the movie?
I'm always I'm in the movie, damn it.
You're the lead of the movie.
There's 3 main characters technically. We make a joke about it all the time. It's fun. It's fun to make movies and art.
Yeah, it is.
Music and stuff. I came from a music background. I played music for 10 years, and then I got into the film stuff slowly, and just started diving into that. I was just man, screw music.
Right.
I'll make movies.
So what got you into the film stuff?
So we started doing this little I was just interested in just any and everything basically. Mm-hmm. I wanted to play music in a band, get that kind of stuff going, and so I started meeting a bunch of people. I went to the Root Fest 9 festival, and just started meeting a bunch of people. I only met one dude there, and Travis Omar. Travis. So I met Travis there. Ended up he seeing me later at a bar. We reconnected. He moved into my house, and I met Jimmy, Clipper, Thomas, everybody from the Funnies, and then just trickled down after that.
Yeah.
Through the last 4 or 5 years, but I played music for most of those years. I was hey, I'm just I was more like you said, a gung-ho kid that could scream on stage.
Yeah,
that's what I was at that moment.
Yeah.
And I was just doing that stuff, trying to get in bands. I was in a couple bands for like a few weeks each. I tried out for a few bands. I tried out for like Go Go Buffalo.
Okay.
I tried out for like I tried at some points to get into the Funnies, you know, different stuff like that. Just like played with them at shows and shit. Just like, hey, can I play with you guys?
Exactly.
And then like none of that stuff ever really took off. I tried to do my own band, never really took off. I practiced. I learned how to like play guitar and sing at the same time, just all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And then it just got to the point where I was like probably 22, 23. It's like right before the pandemic, and like we started doing short films. Oh well, that's right. We did this show for a while, for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it's similar to this. It was like a showcase show. Okay. We actually had like bands play and stuff on it.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was fun.
So you got into like production of.
Yeah, that was when. And that time I met Caden, because I called him up. I'm like, hey dude, I just asked this guy if I could come be a director on a show, and I was told him I was going to bring a guy. So you want to be the camera guy? I seen you had a camera in your hand. I'd met him twice. He had a camera one of the times.
Right.
I'm like, you have a camera.
That's the guy.
You want to be a camera guy? And so that's when we started working together. And then probably 3 years later, that show fell through, a year off, and then we started doing the short films, which was just us basically like, we want to do something. We didn't know what we wanted to do, but we wanted to create something. Sure. And so we started, we were just like, hey, dude, what can we do tomorrow? I'm like, well, dude, let's get me leaving my house, get in your car, smoking a cigarette, get in your car, and then rolling out. And like, and that was it. And then we created an idea over that once we filmed it. Yeah. And it just turned into this thing, and then we've been doing it for 2 years now.
That's really cool.
And it just escalated into, I slowly stopped playing music as much and started focusing more of my craft into the short films. Sure. And now we're making a fucking movie. Yeah. Yeah. And that was our goal too, man. We like having goals, like, because I'm assuming you have a goal set with when you want to get this stuff out and have it like ready to go. Yeah. It seems like you're working pretty fast too for what you're trying to do. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if 6 years is fast, but well, but you know, the decision's been made now.
Yeah, once I kind of made that transition, it has been, you know, my focus has changed.
Like you got that lightning in the bottle right now.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So even finishing that one song, like that was lightning. That's I'm on a high on that. Yeah. And I'm rolling into the next song on that energy. Exactly. Because it's gonna get. I'm gonna get into the mud of that other song and push out, dig out, and then find that lightning again to keep riding.
Exactly. Yeah. So. It's all about, you know, finding it, man. Like, because it's not gonna be there every time. Yeah. You gotta, like you said, you gotta push through it. You gotta. Not every moment's gonna be great.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a great perspective to go off of. Yeah. Well, Michael, man, dude, thank you so much. Man,
yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, anytime. You come back anytime.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, man.
You have a great evening.
Yeah.
This has been Talking to You. Thanks for watching.